Welcome, everybody, to episode 110 of the podcast. I am doing this podcast alone today. This is not because I could not get a guest. It was just something that I've wanted to try for a long time, because then this way I can have an agenda, I can talk about what I want to talk about, and then I can just be done. I don't need to have any back and forth, which is usually the point and why I love my podcast. I like to learn from people. But sometimes there's just stuff I want to talk about, random stuff. And I feel like not everyone's always down to talk about the things I want to talk about because it's their episodes, their life. I want to learn about them. So instead of siphoning the things I want to talk about into their episodes, I'd rather just be able to make my own. I've recorded one of these before, and it never saw the light of day. So if this doesn't make it out, it'll just be on the cutting room floor. But if you're seeing this, I liked it enough to where I wanted to put it out. If you think you can bear listening to me for about an hour, maybe a little less, then go for it. It's going to be a good little episode. I'm really excited about some of the things I want to talk about. But this might not be for everyone. But I do want to hear some feedback. Do you think this is something I should be doing? Do you think it's not? Let me just get into it. Some things I want to cover today. I'm going to go over some of the pleasantries of life, some of the best things, just little things. I'll get into it a little more. I also want to get into what it means to have an environment and have it tailored to your liking and what the word environment means and how you can take that word and take the definition I give you and maybe make a couple positive changes. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm still working on it myself, and we'll see. I'm kind of working on the theory as I'm going to be talking about it, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And but first, I want to talk about a certain segment that Shane Gillis had on his Netflix special. And it was the best. So Shane Gillis is a comedian, if you guys don't know. And in his most recent special, one of the biggest and best quotes from the special has been, "Where you get that cheese, Danny? Where you get that cheese?" And if you know what that is, then you're going to be right along for the ride for this little segment. But if you don't, basically Shane Gillis' whole thing in part of this special, he had Beautiful Dogs on Netflix. Go check it out. It's super funny. Was that special needs, specifically Down syndrome people, are quote unquote the bros, and he's 100% right. And how do I know this? Not because I have Down syndrome people really in my life, so I don't know all the difficulties and the complexities of it. I know it's probably a struggle and a half. Just really can affect your life in a lot of ways. But let me tell you, something about being around Down syndrome people is the best thing ever. They're just so pleasant and simple and fun. And how do I know that? Well, senior year of high school, I was lucky enough, privileged enough, to, with all of my friends, we sat with all the special needs kids. And I know what you're thinking, Dan, maybe they put you there for a reason. Shut up. Let me tell you. We just sat with these kids, honestly, for no reason. Don't know why they really even came over to us, but they just were attracted to us. Maybe it's, fire finds fire type of thing. But they sat with us, and one of the kids had Down syndrome. This was our buddy Big Rye. Big Rye was the cutest guy. Let me tell you, I could cry right now because of how much he fires me up and just gets me elated, overjoyed with happiness. It's just I'm smiling because it's just the most incredible person I've ever met. This little guy. He was a sophomore at the time. I don't know how old he was, but pretty short, and he was a little chubby, and he was super cute, super nice, super funny, and he couldn't really speak. At least I don't think he could speak. But we'd teach him dance moves. We had all this fun with him, and it was so incredible. And I remember I used to eat my cheese pizzas. And I'd put down the crust. I wasn't eating crust at the time. I don't know. I hadn't grown up yet, I guess. And he'd take him and he'd just hold him to his forehead, the crust, or his armpit, and he'd just go And he couldn't speak, but I knew he was saying "What do you think?" he was just the cutest guy. He was the best. I love Big Rye with all my heart, and I think everyone that sat at the table did. We just loved this kid. And because he was so cool, they're just so fun and simple. And this is what Shane Gillis was saying, is that how fun and how simple and how just great they were. And, it just reminds me of of just a couple things. Like, this one time, I was playing a basketball game my freshman year of high school, and this is not necessarily Down syndrome related, but this is special needs related. I guess we had, one of those games against Everett. Basketball. You lose them by 50. Last 2 minutes, they let the special needs kids play. Always my favorite parts of basically anything is seeing the special needs kid score, the Down syndrome kid get a touchdown, the kid with like a life-threatening illness, they get to score a basket, whatever can happen for these kids that like have these issues that like are either lifelong or life-threatening. Let's hype them up. Let's have some fun. And so they put in one of these special needs kids on the Everett team. I was still in the game. I was one of our worst players, so they wanted to give me some burn at the end. So I'm in the game. Special needs kid comes in, and he's dribbling around. He kind of yaks up a shot way off. I think I got the rebound. I don't remember the story, but one of us gave it back to the kid on the other team. Turnover, doesn't matter. Everyone wants this kid to score. It's the last minute. We're down 50. Who cares? So I gave the ball to this kid. Kind of I don't want him to think I'm giving it to him, so he kind of let him steal it, and he gets it, and he takes another dribble, and he is going to take another shot, and my friend Harrison just comes flying from the other side of the court to defend this kid, and he goes to take a jump. Harrison goes up to block this guy. While Harrison was in the air, yes, Harrison, I'm outing you with your name. When he was in the air, going to block this special needs kid's jumper, I can't explain to you how empty I felt on the inside. It's it was almost like an out of body experience, but I was still in my body. It was like I felt like I wasn't in there, but my eyes were still working. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen while he was airborne going a buckshot. Second most incredible thing I've ever seen was the fact that this special needs kid pump faked him and he went flying by him. And by him, I sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger there. He flies by him and almost looked at him, and I was like, wow, special needs kids got drip right now. And then he puts up another jumper, super brick. But it was just crazy. Going to block the special needs kid is absolutely criminal behavior. That is one of the most criminal things I've ever seen. But I've always been a huge fan of those events for the special needs people. And for anybody that has any ailment or illness or anything. I just think we need to hype. They deserve the hype because the most fun times of my life were playing basketball or whatever, and then a lot of them not gonna get that opportunity. So let them have some fun. In the same token, that's where something like the Special Olympics is so incredible. The Special Olympics is the coolest thing. Now, I did have a younger cousin of mine. I'm gonna say the name again. Screw it. Hey, Catherine. My younger cousin, Catherine, wanted to volunteer. She's the sweetest person alive. Catherine's the sweetest person that's ever lived. She wanted to volunteer at the Special Olympics and help these kids out because she just is so pure and kind. So Catherine needs me to drive her to the Special Olympics. I think it was in Needham or Natick or something like that, whatever. So I drive her there. We get there a little early, and she wants me to go in with her, obviously. Because, the last thing you want to do is be the person that's, messing everything up at the Special Olympics. You don't want to be, not knowing what you're doing. You want to get in there, get told where to be, find the right people. It's your first time, so first time in this facility, first time helping out in this way, first time doing all of this. And she doesn't really work with a lot of special needs kids, so she doesn't really know all the boundaries. So she needs to meet somebody, and someone needs to help her to not get in the way. It's not about her, obviously. But I want to go in there with her, find some admin, get this all sort of situated, right? So we go in there, we're sitting there, we get there a little bit early, and a bus pulls up, and then another bus pulls up, and then a couple more buses pull up. I ran out of sight, but there was at least 2 buses there. And here they come, just funneling in. Just funneling in there, right? One by one. Different colored shirts. They're seeing each other. And by that, yeah, they're all special needs. And there was the cutest thing ever. It was because they're all in the little, they're all in, the little game fits. Some of them got the goggles. Some got, the sports stuff on. It felt like it was, like a Halloween, And They were all dressed up in like the gear and stuff. It was super cute, and they're all giving each other hugs and like they're all ready to compete because this is their Super Bowl. This is everything, And so they're just funneling in this place. Probably about 150 special needs kids that had walked by at this point. To the point where I grew numb of it. When you see someone with special needs, like you kind of, maybe not double take like I'm being rude, but like you recognize they're there. At this point, there was just special needs kids littered all over this place. It was the Special Olympics, of course there was. And so, I'm looking for some administration. I can't really find anybody that's all special needs kids. And then my cousin Catherine turned to me, and she kind of like tapped me, and she goes, I don't know. Do you think we're in the right place? And I can't quite communicate to you the level of confusion that, rifled through my body. But what I can tell you is what I said to her, and I go, yeah, let's get you a shirt. You got to compete. That was one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're asked, they were special needs kids funneling in all wearing athletic gear. And she had the audacity to then turn to me and go, are we in the right place? Like, yeah, we're in the right place, We're in the right place. You see a bunch of inmates with chains around their hands and in orange jumpsuits and a bunch of cops around them. You're probably in a prison, You just probably are. It's just probably where you are. You see a bunch of, women in the tight skirts and the tutus, and they're walking around like this and fucking spinning. You're probably seeing some ballerinas, So if you're seeing a bunch of special needs kids dressed in athletic gear at an athletic event at the location that they sent you, let's just assume it's the Special Olympics. Let's just assume that. And so yeah, I told her she needs to participate next year because with comments like that, you might need to participate. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. All right, I'm moving on from this. I'm moving on to the next thing. Let's think about what some of the pleasantries in life are. Now, what do I mean by that? A pleasantry in life, a simple pleasantry, pleasantry, a simple pleasantry in life consists of a couple things. It consists of something that really you can't force. If you can force a simple pleasantry, it's not the same. Something about like hearing it in your everyday life, something about seeing something in your everyday life, something about that adds to it. Like you can definitely like make sure that you're around some of these things, but there's some things that are just like innate in life that are just like, oh, like you'd never go looking for it. That's what it is. You can force it, but you'd never do it because why would you? It's the simple shit in life. Let me just start giving you some examples because I'm talking out of my ass. I brought cards with me to explain this, which kind of debunks my whole forcing it thing, but let me just show you. Something about this. Isn't that nice? Ain't that nice? Just, can you guys hear this? Can you hear me shuffling this deck? Maybe. How about one of those? Isn't that beautiful? Especially when someone's like really good at shuffling cards and they're just like really rifling them away and like just firing them off. Something about that's beautiful. Something about that is just gorgeous. Another thing, this is the thing. They're not all related. That one's very like audible. That's an audible thing. It's like you hear that, you're like, whoa. Some other audible things. I guess when someone's when someone's typing, you're just like, And this isn't just satisfying things, but, when it comes to auditory, like, it kind of has to be. Another pleasantry in life, when you start a really good show. Like, when off episode 1, this is going to be my new show. This is going to be an experience for me. And I couldn't be happier about this new show I'm starting. I recently started watching Peaky Blinders. I'm through 5 seasons now. I'm still waiting to get into the 6th season. But it's just one of those things. It's one of those things that you just can't really explain to anyone. Because then you just want to tell everyone to watch it. You're looking up all the videos and like what these things mean. You become a huge fan of the actor now. And then like, it's just a whirlwind. And it's so exciting to start that whirlwind, you know. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. And if you need a show, Peaky Blinders is the one to start, by the way. If you have any shows that are like really good in that sense, give me a call, send it to me. I'd love to watch. I'd love to watch. Anyway, put it in the comments. Put in the comments what show it is, and then I'd love to watch it. Put DM me, whatever you need to do. Another thing that's a pleasantry in life, when you go to have cereal, and there's the perfect amount for a bowl left of the cereal, and because there's nothing worse than when you don't have enough and you've already poured it and you're like, what the fuck? Or if you pick up the box and you're like, who left a third of a bowl of life in here? Just top that thing off, dude. Whoa, pause. But seriously, just top it off. If you're going to have a full bowl, just put whatever's left on top of it. Or throw it out. Because I don't want to pick up this box of Life cereal or CT Crunch, whatever your preferred cereal is, and have it only be, not even a third of a bowl left. What am I going to do? Put it in a fucking cup? Put some milk in it and give it to my cat? Like, no. I don't even have a cat. So how am I going to do that? And at the same point, to extend this pleasantry, if you have a bowl of ice cream, of Life, of CT Crunch, of these things, perfect amount, and then you seem to have the perfect amount of milk too, stop it. Stop it right there. Man, that's enough, that's enough for me. I'd die happy in that moment. If I went to cardiac arrest the minute after finding a perfect amount of cereal with the perfect amount of milk, I'd die so damn happy. It's not even funny. I'd be so happy. And it's just so good. It doesn't happen to me much because I feel like there's usually a ton of cereal in my house. And as soon as I pick something, I'm not too upset because we have a lot of cereal, so I can just go to another option. There's always one and 1A and 1B. So I'm always feel like I'm pretty good. But anyway, another pleasantry in life. This is the best. This is the best thing about life in general. This is what I'm typically looking to get 99% of the time. A good belly laugh. Those moments where you're with a friend and you're just crying laughing. You can't even breathe. You can't even look at each other. As soon as the littlest things become hilarious, it's once you hit that little stride of everything's funny, oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. And I can't even remember the last time I had a really good belly laugh. When's the last time I had a really, a hilarious string of moments? Probably the last time I was, with all my boys, honestly. You're with all the crowd, someone does something stupid. Next thing you know, you're just crying laughing. Someone you say something super funny. It's not even, jokes don't even get you there. It's not jokes. It's, reminiscing with a mix of, something dumb and then something unexpected needs to happen. You're at a casino, and then it reminds you of a memory, and you're already having fun because you're at the casino, and that's dumb, and someone just lost $200, and it reminds you this time that someone lost $1,000, and then as you're telling that story, someone trips and stubs their toe and starts almost crying. That's the coinciding set of events that needs to conspire. Is that a word? Conspire, perspire. That means to sweat. That needs to happen in order for you to get these huge laughs that just never end with your friends. That is the best one. I should have saved it for last or said it first, but that's the best one by far. If you've had a recent belly laugh, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. What are we doing? And then this is the last one I have listed, and this is a little bit of a niche one. I don't know if this exists in everybody. The other ones I was certain of, I don't know if this exists. But when you unlock a new piece of your city's map, now, what do I mean? I was driving at the Fellsway West the other day. I have a cousin that just moved in. Right off the rotary, heading on to 93, that rotary that you can get on and off of 93 at. Kind of near St. Francis. If you're a Medford person, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, fresh off the highway, I was right off the highway in Medford. And my cousin lives there, and I stayed, but I needed to park somewhere. I parked kind of in one of the side streets behind her house. And that's where my map gets a little foggy. I'm not there much, so I didn't really know what was going on. I just parked and then walked over. And then I needed to get out. When I needed to get out, I was in a one-way hellscape. I couldn't seem to find my way to where I wanted to get out, So I'm driving around this one-way labyrinth, and I'm like, what do I do? And I finally was like, you know what? We're just going to go down a place I don't know. And I took the turn, and I popped out into, the St. Francis area, near Carr Park and Jim's Market. And to tie Fells Way West off the highway to Carr Park and Jim's Market, to tie that area together instead of having to go back through around to St. Francis just to get there was the most blissful and incredible feeling ever. I just felt you feel like you grow up. I just grew up a little bit. I just leveled up. It's like when you're playing Elden Ring or something. I didn't even play Elden Ring. Why did I use that as an example? But it's like when you're playing a game and you rank up and that they change the number. You're I go from level 11 to 12 and your guy gets this weird aura of green and flashes and then he's that felt good. That's me as fuck when I unlock a new area of my city's map. And it's not when you're in a new city. When you're in a new city, everything's new. So that's not, who gives a fuck? You're learning the whole time, But something about learning something new about your city. Oh, please. Whatever you've learned about your city, put it in the comments. Anyway. Alright. That's it for the pleasantries of life. If you have any pleasantries, actually, the other ones were jokes, but if you have any things that are pleasantries of your life, put it in the comments. I'd like to see them. What are some things I missed? I'd like to know what's going on with that. On to the last thing I want to talk about. Depending on what I cut out, this might be the second or third thing. If this is the second topic I'm talking about, that means I cut out a lot. Because it got a little crazy in the beginning. But anyway, this is going to be my thought on the word environment. What does environment mean? What is your environment? Now there's so many definitions. I'm going to try to break it down a little bit. So obviously there's the physical earth environment, Plenty of that. And a lot of people talk about it and something we need to protect and everything. But that's not what I'm talking about. It's very important. Probably more important than what I'm going to talk about. But that's not what I'm going to talk about right now. And then I think people think of environment as nurture versus nature. It's what your upbringing was like, what's your family like, things like that. I'm not going to talk about that either. Because, why would I talk about the two most important things of environment? Why would I do that? I'm going to talk about your literal environment, what your daily life consists of physically, the physical environment that you're building around yourself. That might include your family and your friends, physical presence in your life, but really the focus is just on the actual materials you have around you and how that impacts you, because it does violently, I may add. So say you're someone that wants to go to the gym. And I've read some books on this, not many. I've watched some videos, not many. So I'm not an expert, but this is just what I've gathered from it. And I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting thought. But let's say you want to go to the gym, right? And you're having a really hard time going to the gym. I like to think of things in very extreme examples, right? What would make you go to the gym if there was no issues? If you didn't have a job, you had all the money in the world, what would make you go to the gym? Whoa. If you had all the money in the world and you didn't have to worry about your job, you didn't have to worry about anybody, and all you had to do was go to the gym, how would you do it? And I think the first thing that comes to my mind is, I'd build a gym in my house. Right? Build an entire gym in your house. If you had all the money in the world, why not? And then you'd probably go every day. Or if you wanted to, you probably, because it's right there, you could go every day. Or let's say you put your bed in the middle of a bunch of weights. If you could put your bedroom in the middle of a weight room, you'd probably go every day. This is crazy, but this is just the type of examples you need to think about sometimes. And then you need to just shrink it down, but work in that direction. So now what do I mean? Well, you obviously don't have any money because you're watching my podcast. There's no way my podcast is, if you have a lot of money and you watch my podcast, I'm probably doing something wrong. right? So you probably don't have a gym in your house. You might have a little workout set, but you want to go to the gym, right? Let's just say you want to go to the gym. You don't have that type of luxury. So you can't do that, but you can put the gym in your house, kinda. The preparation for it. So let's say you want to go to the gym in the morning. First things first, you got to wake up in the morning. That's a whole nother thing you got to worry about. You know, the alarms, all that. But what you need to do is put your gym clothes, put your gym shoes, get your bag together and ready, have a scheduled time out of your day to go to the gym, know what workouts you're going to do, have everything ready, have your environment made ready for you to go to the gym. If you park on the sidewalk, leaving your house, let's say whatever way you need to have your car pointing in to go to the gym, point it that way, park it that direction. It's the little things like that. This is from a book called Atomic Habits, this 1% change type of thing. If you change your life 1% over, the course of one day, you won't notice. Over the course of 50 years, you will. So if you make those little changes to your environment, things will change. And that's just one piece of your environment. That's if you want to go to the gym. Let's say you want to wake up in the mornings. Make sure that the window, wherever the light comes in from your window the strongest, put your face there. Put your bed there. Make sure the light's coming in. That's physical environment impacting the way you get up in the morning. Let's say you want to read more. Have a book on every counter. Have a book on every counter. You want to write more. Have a notebook everywhere. Have little pens all over the place. You want to litter your environment with the person you want to be. What would a person that I want to be have around me? Maybe they'd have, a wad of cash. Like, I don't know what you want. But no matter what it is, you got to make sure it's littered across your environment. And that, I think people understand. I'm not really reinventing the wheel. No one's reinventing the wheel when they say anything like this. And also, I literally learned this like the past few weeks. So this isn't my idea. What I have kind of expanded on it with is understanding the parts of my life that give me some stress and make me feel like a loser and a failure. Those things are also part of my environment, like due to my environment. So what are those? That would be Xbox is a good example. I play a lot of Xbox. I love playing Xbox. I love playing video games with my friends. I love it. But I want to play less. Problem is, my Xbox is in my room. It is in the room that I sleep in. The room I sleep in, the room I work when I work from home, and the room I play Xbox in are all the same room due to some factors, right? So my Xbox is always right in front of me. Always. No matter what I'm doing with. If I'm at home, I am with my Xbox. And I don't think that I give myself enough credit, or if I'm understanding enough of myself about what that can do to you. If you're always around something, you're bound to use it. You're bound to touch it. You're bound to, play with it. If you're always with your Xbox, it's a surprise I don't play it more. Let's say I play on like an every other night, maybe 4 out of the 7 days a week I'm playing for a bunch of hours, like 2 to 4 hours, whatever, maybe more than that sometimes, some days, and then sometimes I go 5 days without playing, whatever. But I play a lot of Xbox, right? And let's say that I'm in that room, who knows how many hours, like 10 hours a day, if you're not even including sleep. With all that, it's like you're actually not doing that bad. You're pretty good at controlling yourself. It's not like you're playing all day long. It's not like you play while you work. I don't play while I do these other things. But it just being there puts it at like a base of like a 10% of my life it's going to take up. Just because it's around all the time. It's all I can do, So a solution would easily be remove the Xbox from the room. If I put my Xbox in my room all the way upstairs, I'd be in a much better place. I just would. And I think that applies to everything. It applies to stuff in your life too. I don't know what it is that you have issues with. But good example that I think everyone kind of understands is TikTok. Everyone treats TikTok like it's alcohol. Like it's this crazy obsession. Because guess what? It kind of is. Your phone, you're obsessed with your phone. Think about how much everyone uses their phone. You want to know why?
Because it's always with them. It always needs to be with you. So you're going to use it all the time. You'll find a way to use it. It's just the way it is. TikTok is the worst of the things on your phone to keep you trapped. It literally just is like a hole. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. And some people are better with it than others. And sometimes you can fight it off a little bit, but then if you keep going on and off, it'll slowly eat its way in your life, and you'll just start scrolling. And so you hear people that delete TikTok, like some people never have had it, like whatever. But you hear people that just delete it. They're like, I had to delete it off my phone. Because that's their environment. Your phone's environment. What is on your phone? They delete their social media because that is part of their environment. That is them tailoring their environment. It's their digital environment, but it's still very much tangible. It's very real. It sucks away your time. It takes away your time, depending on how much you use it, Still good to scroll every once in a while. But, if that's something you think is an issue, if you deleted the app, you'd see just how much you want to log in. You notice how many times you pick up your phone and you put it back down, you're like, shit, I don't even have the app. Or you pick up your phone, you're like, I didn't even want to look at it. I didn't even care to look at it. I was just going to go open my phone to TikTok anyway. Probably lose an hour. It's just crazy. But if you can find a way to design your digital and physical environment, it's just super helpful. And in the same sense, now kind of getting a little bit into the nurture versus nature thing, I also think if you look into the eyes or into the soul, I guess, of all of your friends, the 5 people you keep closest to you, maybe 7 if you have a bigger family too, and you're close with them, you will see yourself in those 7 people. The 7 people closest to you, you will see yourself. So, at the same rate as the environment you keep around you, I keep a TV in my room. That's why I watch a lot of TV. I'm like, it's YouTube, but still a lot of TV. I keep an Xbox around, playing a lot of Xbox. I keep notebooks around, so I'm always writing on my notebooks. I do a lot of writing. I have this little studio here, so I'm always out here recording, when I get bored. But in the same rate, I have a friend like my friend Mike, for example. Hey, Mike, you go to the gym all the time. Like, if you weren't at the gym, I probably wouldn't go as much. But all my friends go to the gym. Mike goes to the gym. My friend Nikki Simone goes to the gym. My friend Ryan Caffey goes to the gym. Alex Milas goes to the gym. My friend Don Malian. I'm naming all the boys right now. My friend Andrew goes to the gym. Everyone. I've missed out some. Jake, whatever. Everyone. They all go to the gym. And I noticed I go to the gym now. And I always said all high school, I'm never going to go to the gym, never going to go to the gym. And now I go. Because all my friends go. And not because I'm like following them, you just kind of become your environment. This is what I'm trying to say. You don't consciously even want to do these things. The things you really want to do are things that you stretch out of your environment to go do, which is the crazy thing. But you just need to design your life, your physical environment, your social environment, which is your friends and your family, and your digital environment to the person that you'd want to be. That's how you fix it. Say you want to be someone that's super focused, very poignant, someone that's very good with their time management, and someone that works out all the time, still goes out and has fun with, their friends, and takes their work very serious. Then guess what? That's what you need to design your life to look like. Have gym clothes ready for you at all times. Make sure you have reminders everywhere, reminding you of, I need to be here at this time, to be here then. Make sure you have friends that are like socialites, that like to go out and have fun and be with crowds, because then they'll invite you and bring you out, and you'll become one of those people. You'll be out all the time, and you can have fun with them. You are so definitely your environment that it's crazy. It's not helpless either. If anything, that makes me feel good, because I know, yes, you are a victim to your environment, but your environment is also a victim to you. You're the one that's designing it. So you're the one that gets to kind of decide who you want to be and what that environment would look like to make you be that person. Something I'm still very much working on. Have made zero progress, but understanding the concept has given me some solace, I think, because I know there's room. There's always going to be room to be better. If I just tailor my environment a little bit better, then I'll slowly change in good ways, in positive ways. So I don't even know where that all came from. I wonder if anyone's going to find any interest in that little tangent I just went on about environment. But hopefully some people think that that's interesting. Otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap up here. This was great. I had a great time. Been out here for about 45 to an hour-ish. And it's 1 in the morning. And I've just had a great time sitting here talking to you guys. Hopefully some of you enjoyed. This is episode 110. As I said, we'll see if I do any more of these. Hopefully this does get to see the light of day, unlike some of the other times I've tried something like this. And yeah, comment what your thoughts are. Comment any pleasantries. Comment a new word you'd like for me to explore. I have so many of them. They're so fun. But until next time, till episode 111, hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful next few weeks. Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas, Black Friday, and the merchandise all coming out. That's all within a month, And I know the merchandise, which you're all most excited for. Fuck Christmas, fuck Thanksgiving. It's all about Black Friday. It's all about the merch, baby. Episode 110 in the books. Thank you very much for watching.